ladies, for joining me, and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
I'll just start with you, Beatrice. Maybe you can introduce yourself, tell us what you do. Yes, for starters.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Beatrice Muthoga. I work for Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and I head the Aviation Security Department. My main responsibility is that I spearhead the establishment, development, maintenance, and implementation of aviation security regulations, policies, and the technical guidance material. And I also oversee the implementation of aviation security operations in all airports in the country, with the main objective of ensuring that we safeguard civil aviation against acts of unlawful interference.
Very important. Thank you very much for that introduction, Grace. What do you do?
Thank you for having me this morning.
Karibu sana.
Let me start by saying a hello to all the viewers. My name is Grace Ngugi. I am a CEO at Al Habib Cosmetics in East Africa Limited. I am a mother of two enterprising girls, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I run the business, and I'm the co-founder. We are located on Mombasa Road, Athi River, in Mavoko County, where we have a manufacturing unit where we do manufacture body products, lotions, and for men and for women. And we also manufacture disinfectants, dishwash, hand wash, and any other products that are related to the above. Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
Awesome.
Yes.
Let's get a feel of how you got to where you are right now, yeah?
Yes.
Beatrice, how did you get into the aviation industry? And considering that aviation, especially the security bit of it, is very male-dominated,
yes,
how did you get in there?
Yes, it is true. Actually, aviation security especially is male-dominated. I got there, it is a funny story because I was in college, and one day I saw an advert that there's an organization that wanted to employ security to work in an airport. So for me, the word security did not really matter much, but I was like, this name airport sounds nice to me. I had never been to an airport before. Okay. And so I said, why not give it a trial? And that's how I got recruited into Kenya Airports Authority. I started my career in 2004 as a security personnel, doing screening and access control, and basically doing the basic security aviation in the airports. I started at KCAA, and that's where I've grown all my career. I started as a screener, then I trained as a trainer. I was trained as a trainer. I got certified by International Civil Aviation as a trainer. Then I became an inspector. Then I did airport operations, and then now from Kenya Airports Authority, I crossed over to Kenya Civil Aviation, where now I do the oversight activities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many years now?
18 years of experience in aviation security, yes. And it's true, the career is mainly male-dominated, but right now we have quite a number of women who are there. The only thing is that now we should take the next step of taking the leadership role.
Taking the leadership role.
Yes.
Wow, we should understand how you got to the leadership role in the first place in a little bit. Yes. Grace, tell us, how did you get into entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship has been a passion that I've always had, and it started long way ago. In school, I remember I used to bake cakes, and I used to make little dresses for people, and I would get a bit of cash. Then as we grew up, our family background, we've been running businesses. My parents introduced us to business, me and my siblings, and we used to run a chemist, and we used to go to work every morning. We closed school, just have one day, then the following day you go to work. So the discipline of waking up in the morning, the discipline of running a business, the discipline of checking how things are, and the integrity was dawned in me. And I went to college. My background is in fashion and design. So I started off my business. I was employed for only about six months by an NGO, and I felt I was not giving my all. So I started my own business, which I ran for 30 years. Then as time went on, I realized I need to leave that department or that session for the upcoming designers and look and be able to progress and uplift myself in another different direction. I'm a widow. Me and my husband, we had said we want to try and get something that we can have retirement on, something that we can eat when we retire. So we went into manufacturing. So of course there's a lot of research, there's a lot of background check, There's a lot of what do you require, because in manufacturing, it's a big industry, and you need to be up and ready to go with it. So we went into cosmetics. We wanted something that we have service you can give people. And we wanted to be different. We were thinking out of the box. What do we do that is going to impact without feeling that you are competing with the market that is there? So we realized that there is a community that is not serviced. And that community, their products are always imported. What do we do as a Kenyan to be able to service that industry? Then we came up with the name Al Habib Cosmetics, of which our products are of high quality to be able to sustain the market and to be able to be competitive with the other players in the market. So that's how we came up with Al Habib Cosmetics. So we've run it for about 4 years. This is the 4th year in manufacturing and the processing. Our plant is in Athi River, like I said, and we have employed about 30 people, of which gender ladies, we have about 10, we have 20 and 10 gentlemen. So one of our targets is to make sure we empower ladies so that they can be the next future leaders, as my colleague has said.
The next future leaders.
Yes,
I'll stay with you, Grace, a little bit. As a woman in manufacturing, what kind of challenges do you face?
Challenges, first you've got to do enough research. You've got to know what you want to do. It is not an industry you just hop in. There's a lot of background check. You need to know the compliance that is required there. You need to know who are you competing with. You need to know where your products are coming from. Now, the challenge that we get is raw materials. We have importers who bring in raw materials, and by the time probably I want the next consignment to be brought in, there is no product with the manufacturer. So you realize you want the product tomorrow, and the supplier tells you they're out of stock, their product is being imported, and you'll have to wait maybe a week or two, and you have orders to supply. So there's a lot of management. You have to manage your clients, you have to manage also the business itself, so that you're able to produce and supply to your clients on time. Another challenge I would think is knowing what is out there. Yes, there are counterfeits. How do you prepare yourself so that you may not be caught up with the counterfeits? One, what we've done, like for the bottles for our lotions, we have our own mold where nobody can use that bottle. So that's already a way of carving off counterfeit. We import our, say, bottle tops. We have a very high-end supplier who supplies us with the labels, so that if, in case, the black market wants to intrude, they'll have to go along with, they've got to think out of the box to be able to catch up with us. So those are the few challenges we have. On-time supply from the suppliers. When you need it, maybe it's not there. And then two, like I said, how to carve the counterfeit department. Those are the major ones.
Those are the major challenges. Ladies, you're both leaders in your respective fields. Beatrice, I would like to understand from you, I mean, you entered into an already male-dominated sector and then rose into leadership. Tell us how your journey has been in terms of surmounting those challenges in there.
When I started, we were employed quite a number of us, and of course we found those who were already working in the industry. So for me it was, yes, we are many, but how do I stand out from the crowd? So what I did is that I never shied off taking up the responsibilities that were given to me. I also learned a lot from those that I found working. I went into training, and I also decided that when I was getting into the employment, I had not even done my degree. So I thought I needed to go back to school and improve my career, my academic career. So I went back to school, did my degree. I again went back and did my master's degree. I've done my degree in business administration administration and specialize in human resource management because I was already doing training and I wanted to understand how, just how to deal with people. But then I thought that, hey, everybody now is a graduate, so how do I again stand out from that crowd? So I went back to university and did my master's in aviation. Going back to the professional career, I also really did a lot in terms of developing myself, in terms of the professional qualifications. So I did, when I did screening and access control, which is now basically what the aviation security personnel do at the airport, is that I thought I was good in that job, and then I asked myself, can I get into training and start training those who are coming in to do the job? So I got into training. I started small, then I got certified as an aviation security instructor by International Civil Aviation, and right now I train not only for the state but also for the International Civil Aviation, that is regionally or internationally when called upon. Then from there I also did, I went back to college and did the inspector's course. So now I'm able to inspect not only the airports in the country. I have inspected JF Kennedy, I've inspected Heathrow Airport, I've inspected CDG, I've inspected it's called Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok, I've inspected Mumbai, I've inspected South Africa. So aviation security, what I realized about it is that it's because it's not local, it's an international it's an international field. You just have to get yourself out of thinking local and become international. So that's what I did. And luckily, the organization I was working for then, which is Kenya Airports Authority, really supported me in that. And that's how I got to find myself where I am. From being a screener, I was promoted to a supervisor. From a supervisor, I went to becoming a trainer. From a trainer, doing quality control activities for KCAA. And then from there, I went into airport operations, where I was deputizing the airport manager for KCAA. And then I thought I had done enough for airport operations. And then I moved now and went to CAA, where now I do the regulatory aspects. So it's been a long journey. It didn't just come up one day, but what I would say, it's consistently improving yourself and not shying off from taking responsibilities that are ahead of you.
Consistently improving yourself. I like that. Self-development is very important. Grace, in your practice, you're a woman in business. Of course, when the products are on the shelf, the consumer does not see this is from a woman in business, this is from a man in business. They are just products that they are purchasing. How do you set yourself apart?
The first thing is, at least we have ladies who are in the market. We call them promotional ladies. And one thing we've also told them to, when they're advertising or when they're showing the product to the client, to mention that it's Kenya made. It is made, the lady who is behind it is a lady. The product is a good product for both consumption for the ladies and for the men. And also to have constant interviews like this, so that there's enlightenment to who is behind Al Habib Cosmetics industry. So that when people see me or people realize that this is a lady behind it, they'll be able to relate with the product. That is one way. Another way is trying to sanitize and be able to talk to ladies out there in the market, to do CSR, to be able to give out products, like in the prisons and in homes, so that they're able to understand. And through there, you'll be able to be advertised, you'll be able to be known out there. And to make sure that at least I attend many seminars, I attend many functions, to be able to advertise who I am and be able to know who is behind Al Habib Cosmetics. And through there, when people go to the shops, they'll be able to relate themselves with the product. That is one way that we are doing. Yes.
And how much learning have you had to do since you delved into this business?
About 7 years. 7 years. Like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of research. There's a lot of finding out what you need to do. There's a lot of research and development of the product, of the industry, of the machinery. The machineries that we have, we imported them, and they're very good, high-quality machines. So technology, like the theme of this year, women, international women, is digital, meaning you have to be digital, all-rounded, so that even the staff that you have, you make sure they are trained so that they can be current. And then technology and innovation, which is one of the themes. That's the theme of this year's International Women Day. Technology, what are you doing about it? What are you doing to improve yourself, your workers, and your industry? So with technology, we have made sure that we have the systems. We have systems in place. We have checking ways of how to be able to work. And when it comes to innovation, we're all the time innovating 24/7. What new product that is required there? Through interviewing people in the market, what do they like? What do they want? What do they want us to provide for them? So we are always having R&D, research and development all the time in our department, where we have QA, which is quality assurance, where we make sure all our products are top-notch, required by the law, by KEBS. And you also have to be very compliant so that you can be able to have all the time to do what you know best in manufacturing. So those are some of the pointers that we look out for, to be able to stand out there and also to think out of the box. How different do you want to be? Like in my case, I said I'm a widow, so I made sure I learned what our dream was. And this is something I would encourage all women. If you're having a family business, please take time, please get concerned of what is happening, so that if you're in a position like I am right now, you'll be able to enter into the shoes are big, they're very big, but at least you know what to do, so that there's continuity, succession is there. I said I have 2 daughters, and I work with them. They're in the industry with me, they're adults, and they have positions there. So they're able to understand the business, they're able to know succession when it comes, this continuity of this business, how will it go? So it's very important to be able to include your children as much as how young they are. Let them understand what is out there, so that even in future they'll be able to have the discipline, the integrity, the responsibility to stand on their own 2 feet, so that they can be able to take care of themselves. So those are the things that we look into, so that we make sure that we are relevant in the market.
Right.
Yes.
Very important pointers there. Beatrice, I see you nodding in agreement about the mentorship bit of it. I'll ask you in a bit about that. But remember that International Women's Day is happening on the 8th of March, but Kenya is having its celebrations today. They are ongoing at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. The President, William Ruto, is expected to address that particular gathering there. Of course, just taking stock of where, or rather how far the women have come in terms of empowerment, equality, access to opportunities, the challenges that they face, and what can be done to ensure that it's a bit smooth sailing. Remember, those are pictures from the KICC, where the celebrations for the International Women's Day are ongoing there. We shall be expecting the President, Dr. William Ruto, to speak a little bit later, and we shall be bringing that to you live. In studio, of course, the conversation continues about matters International Women's Day. Beatrice, you are in the aviation industry, and as you said, it's male-dominated. You've gone all the way to the top. How important is it, mentorship?
It's very important to get somebody who mentors you and mentors you in the right way. When I got employed, I was very young, and most of the senior people that I found in the industry years were men. And you see, when you're a young girl, you just joined an industry and it's all male dominated, and you want to see what you can do, you're maneuvering your way up there. So there's so many challenges that you will face, but you've got to remain focused as yourself. Mentorship is good, but how about what are you doing about yourself? So, but I was lucky because both the few ladies I found in the industry and also the men who are in the industry were ready to support. We were just starting to take over a screening of passengers at the airport, from the then police who were doing it to now Kenya Airports Authority. So again, so there was need to really start it on a good level. So we got a lot. I would say we got supported at the airport, and luckily the field that I work for, I think the airport is I mean, people are professionals, so I would say we got supported, and especially in terms of training, in terms of exposure to the industry, and of course it's not all of us who are where I am today. So there was the the me bit. What am I doing about myself? So I would say that by the time I left Kenya Airports Authority, in that whole group that you are employed, I was the senior most even then. So there has to be, there's a lot that is expected of yourself, not just about the people mentoring you. And again, if you show that you know you're a go-getter, you are taking responsibilities, you're respectful, you're a subject matter expert in what you do, you will always get somebody to hold your hand and support you in what you want to do. So I'd say I didn't get much challenges in terms of being mentored. From my point of from my level, I also took it upon myself to mentor, the ladies who came after me, and also those that we got employed with. And I'm happy to report that right now we have quite a good number of ladies in the industry who have really come up. I have about 7, certified instructors by International Civil Aviation. I have quite a number of inspectors. I have so many supervisors who are now ladies. So I would say that in the whole entire industry right now, we have quite a good number of ladies. Plus, the environment is also, conducive. There's a plain level ground of ladies also, coming up in the industry. So I would say in aviation industry, the effort is being made to make sure that women also grow in the industry. Yes.
Effort is being made, and I like that women holding other women's hands.
Yes, we're doing a lot to make sure that, like if you're nominating people for a course, you have to make sure that you have a good combination of ladies and men. If it's promotion, again the same. If it's hiring, again efforts are being made to make sure that there's equality, this gender balance in terms of hiring, in terms of training, in terms of promotions and all that. So and I'm happy, especially with Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, because we've made it a standing agenda in our senior management meeting that the HR department keeps reporting on where we are in terms of gender balancing. And we are not there yet, but there's deliberate effort to make sure that there's gender equality, and we are not doing badly right now. That's what I would say. I mean, as women in aviation industry, and especially from Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, I would say we've made some strides.
You've made some strides. Yes. That is a good report, and we hope for more of such. Right. Grace, what is your comment on women holding other women's hands?
The first thing I would encourage all women to know that they are the backbone of their family, and in extension, even to the business. When you are in business, it could be whatever you are doing. For my case, it's manufacturing. You can be a manufacturer. It's good to encourage women to start wherever they are, to think big, to start small, and to start now with whatever you have. Manufacturing is a big word. Even the spelling is big, and people are scared of it, yes? But it's up to you to start knowing what to do with yourself. And when you have confidence, of which that's what happens, most ladies don't have that confidence because there's nobody to advise them or to hold their hand and show them this is the direction. When we are there, we have already gone through the steps. We've seen the potholes. So our work is to help them avoid those potholes that we already went in and filled. So advising ladies, especially in business or in whatever they are doing, being a leader or doing a business is not a destination. It is work in progress. And to have success, it's an ongoing project which you go on building yourself by learning, by being current, by knowing. And don't have pity parties for yourself, yes? And team yourself with the like-minded people. Take it as an initiative. Decide on your own that this is what you want. Start with yourself to be able to attract the right people. We're able to handhold you and tell you the trends and be able to advise you. And also mentor you and mentor your children. Like I said before, it is good to handhold your children, you first as a mother or as a lady or as a woman, as a feminine person. I mentioned at the beginning, we do CSR. For example, we visited Naivasha prisons. What are they normally taking, the ladies? They are only taking food or diapers, but nobody thinks of them personally as a lady, not even hygiene, them. So I took it up myself. I'll be a bit different. I'll be taking my lotions to them. and give each one of them. And the reaction was, wow, wow. It was very emotional. And they confessed. Nobody has ever thought of them as ladies. Yes, they brought all the other necessary things, but nobody has ever thought of them, how they look, how they want to be smart. And I told them, next time I'll come even with makeup, so that you also look nice, so that it starts with you. And you are here as a lesson. Nobody is here to judge you. It is you. Then I visited a home in Nyeri where teen pregnancy is a taboo, where you find very young girls, even in primary, who are pregnant and they have already children. So a lady friend of mine set up a school because she was one of them. She had been raped when she was young. And those girls, they have pity parties. They pity themselves, and they are from all over the country. So what did I do? I went, I mentored them by talking to them that it is okay. And they kept on coming and sleeping on my chest and thanking me. Others were crying, others were saying I adopt them. And it was very emotional. And I promised them. But you also have to give them something for them to achieve by mentoring and telling them, fine, I want you to do this for me if you want me to do this for you. So at least I'm in partnership with that school or with that institute or with that home where they're given education there, they're given food, and some of them have got court cases because some of them are rape cases and all that. So mentoring them, telling them, and they go to school, telling them you need to concentrate on you as you move on. It is a blessing. It is a blessing. And that's what God planned for you. So do not pity yourself. So mentoring doesn't just mean mentoring in terms of business or in terms of where you'll be. It's even from where you are and where you are going. It is very, very important. So hand-holding another lady is very important. And now that we are celebrating this season, it is very important to be able to have that agenda spread out there, that we are all equal in every way and in every aspect of what we do. And it is very important to identify yourself as a lady, as a woman, as a beautiful lady, and appreciate yourself so that you're able to attract and you're able to be confident. And in whatever you are doing in future, you'll be able to have that vibe, to be able to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So mentoring is not very deep. It's just relating with a person and relating with the situation at that time and telling them it is okay. It is okay. And take life a step at a time and be on the good side. Be intentional also. Don't just move on. Be intentional with what you want to do. Be intentional with where you want to be. Be intentional with your goals. Get to know what you want and work on those goals and work on yourself. That is what I would advise them.
Right. I think you've brought up a very important point of the challenges that women go through in terms of societal and cultural perceptions of women. Mm. And we don't live in isolation. Yeah, we live in this society, and these cultural perceptions affect us as well. So even as women are working towards achieving the best that they can in aviation, in business, how do they go around these challenges, the societal and cultural perceptions? I start with you, Beatrice.
I would sort of say, maybe I'd not say I'm married. Mm-hmm. And I have 2 children. I have a daughter and 2 adorable teens, a daughter and a son. And this issue of the challenges that women go through, I think they start from our homes. And there should be deliberate effort for us to be supported from our families. And I would like to thank my husband because he's been my pillar. Yes, he's been my pillar. He's been very supportive in my career. Probably I wouldn't be where I am if it was not for him. Because he keeps encouraging me, you need to go back to school, you need to do this, you need to do this. And when I do all that, then I one day sat and said, hey, this is good because I also have a daughter in the house who is looking up to me. So when we get supported from the family, so when you step out from your house and, you have that peace of mind, somebody has your back and all that, then you're able to face any challenge that comes your way. Because at the end of the day, even if it gets too tough, then again, you still have a shoulder to go and lean on. So that is what, that has been one of my pillars. So the society, you see, like, you'd go for an interview, you get interviewed, of course, you'd be many. And when you get a position, I'm not talking about me as a person, but you will obviously have people say that probably you're given that position because you're a lady. But hey, we get positions because we deserve them and we are qualified for those positions. So we should be able to stand out and say, and you know, we should be subject matter experts in our own field. And if positions are advertised out there, we should be able to go compete for them. And once we get those positions, we should take up the positions because we deserve them. We are qualified for them, and we are rightfully there. Not because we are women, but because we have qualified for the position. So when I'm running my day-to-day errands in the organization, being a woman is okay, but it does not cross my mind. I do my job because I'm a subject matter expert in that job, and I have decided that I have to walk with my head high. Not because I'm a woman, but because I'm a professional in that line. And yes, the society will always judge you, but if you keep listening to what the society is saying, you will never move. Can you just do your thing, walk confidently, do what you're supposed to do, and you know, lead by example, be a good role model to the others, and everybody will be like, yeah. So they will join in into that. And also, of course, we have the vulnerable in the society. So we have to keep encouraging them on day to day. We have to keep telling them that it doesn't matter even if you're a woman or even if you're a lady, you still have a whole life ahead of you. And what you need to do is to carry yourself with confidence, improve yourself, and wherever there's an opportunity, go for it. I think that is it. But the society we are always disadvantaged in terms of the society. They will always look at you, and the first thing they see is when somebody looks at me, probably they will not see a manager of Aviation Security, they'll first of all see a lady. But what the most important thing is wait until then you sit down and have a discussion, and then you realize that this is not just a lady, it's a subject matter expert in their own field. So we have to step out and do what we do and do it the best. And you're here, you're heading this particular show, you're a lady, we are proud of that. So it's a good, and look at her and the industry she's in the manufacturing industry, she's really, you know, talking very highly of it. That is the way to go as women.
All right, that is the way to go as women. Grace, your thoughts on what she said, and have you gone through these challenges, and how have you gone through them? I mean, how have you surmounted them?
Challenges are there, and every challenge has a solution. Look at the challenge, see how you're going to work on it. For example, last year we had an exhibition at Pride Inn, a clean expo exhibition, and we exhibited our products, and we exhibited all what we were doing. And the guests or the visitors who were coming to find out, they were asking, who is the owner? Or I introduce myself. I say, my name is Grace, or I give out my business card. They look, they say, a lady, Gogi, or Grace, and Al Habib. How do they match? So there's a lot of awareness explaining to them. Already there's an eyebrow raised when people look at you as a lady. But as my colleague says, you've got to have your chin high. You've got to be like that racing horse with covered heads when they are racing, so that you don't get distracted. You focus on what you're doing, you focus on your goals, you focus on your mission, you focus on your vision, and you focus on what you're doing, so that you don't have time to step away. Yes, the society is there, and it is good because it balances society. If we were all on one side, there would not be a challenge. And it's good to have a challenge so that you can know how to move. And challenges are good. Challenges help you sharpen yourselves. So like in the industry of manufacturing also, like I said, when you step out there, especially in the sales, people are very negative, one, because this is a new product, they don't know it, they don't understand it, and people are still loyal to what they use. So there's a lot of awareness, there's a lot of talking to them, making them know that this is a good product, this is a product that is good for you, There's a lot of giveaways. There's a lot of activation so that people may understand. And I'm happy to report at least the product has been accepted in the market. And I'm also happy that at least we haven't gotten complaints that the product is affecting them or anything like that. So those are the challenges that we or I face, especially as a lady, and especially the name of the company and who we are. So there's a lot of explaining. And people get, they say, that was very clever. That was very good. How did you think about that? Can you come and talk to my people at work? Can you come and tell them? And a lot of teamwork. There's a lot of teamwork with your team, especially as a lady. And like I said, a lady is a backbone. So even of home and even in extension at work. And we have listening ears. So with the workers that you have or the team that you have, it's good to look at each person individually because you all come from different backgrounds, you all come from different challenges. Don't be just across the board. Take one more step so that you're able to discuss with your team, you're able to know what their shortcomings are so that they can be more effective. And that is another, I would call it a good challenge because it's something that you have to be purposeful and very, very, very purposeful to understand and to give back. Like for us, we have birthdays every month for the birthday babies of that month. And we had for February, and one guy said he has never been given a birthday. And he was like, wow, wow, wow. We do that. Christmas times, we have parties so that people are able to relax, people are able to understand. And with those little challenges that they have, which I don't even call challenges, I would say they're just steps to life. Because if you use the word challenge, it only has like a way that I have to sort it out. It's just a step in life of how we are going with the life. And with life, you have to do life. So it's very important to be able to identify your shortcomings or your challenges, to be able to know what solutions. And you can work backwards. You can know a challenge is coming up through your research, through your findings, and even through what is out there. You're able to know this might rise up one time. How do we deal with it before it gets on to us? So, for example, ladies, like I said, I've employed about 20 ladies. Yes. How do I deal with them when it comes to their personal challenges? So we discuss with them beforehand so that when the time comes of anything, we already know what solution to offer at that particular time. Say, for example, I would ask one lady, call a good friend, or let me have all the numbers of your good friends. If anything happens at work, we know who to call. Or if anything happens, or if you're not there, we know who to find out where you are. Because that's going to be a challenge for us when it comes to work. Because again, with work is life. And doing business, it's a life of its own. Business does not know your personal issues, but how do you deal your personal issues to integrate with your business? So it's always good to get a solution because you're going to know forehand that you're going to have a certain challenge. So that's very important.
Right. When you talked about the birthdays and celebrations, it just crossed my mind that sometimes embracing femininity in the workplace is a good thing. You can channel it to, you know, bear some fruit like that. Maybe men would not even think of celebrating birthdays and, you know, the soft things. But for women, we have a power there. I would like to learn or just hear from you if there was a time that you ever failed. How did you handle the failure or mistakes? How do you handle that? And I have heard from many women leaders that the bar for women is very much higher than that of men. Yeah. So how do you handle mistakes or failure, Beatrice?
You cannot be 100% all the time. There'll be good days, there'll be bad days. And falling is not a problem. The problem is when you fall down and you stay there. And what you do when you fall down is wake up, dust yourself, and keep going. Of course, there are days when you find that what you wanted to do, you didn't touch. And like in private business, in like where I work, whatever I do is not wholly dependent on you, right? Because I have somebody to report to, and that person reports to somebody else, and I have now people reporting to me. So what happens is that if I realize that we've not done well in an area that we were supposed to do, then I have, luckily, I have a very good director that I report to. So what you do is consult with your senior people, and also make everything consultative, because you realize that you're also not you're always not, you don't know everything. You must also bring everybody on board, consult with them. You'll always realize that there are people who knew something that you didn't know. So what we've done is, what I do personally is that whenever something doesn't really go right, I don't dwell on that mistake or what has not gone well. I mainly see how to get out of it and get out of it quickly. And especially when you look at aviation security. Aviation security has no room for failure. Right. Let's begin there. Because that 0.01% failure is what can cause death or destruction. So we do not actually have any room for failure. So we try to do things the way they're supposed to be done, but in the event that we realize that there's something that is not going the way it's supposed to go, then we'll quickly come together and discuss an issue and see how to get out of it. So we also depend much on, other stakeholders in the industry. So unlike when you're working in a private sector where you have to make decisions by yourself, in my case, then if I have a challenge, then I have somebody else, to get support from. Mm-hmm. Yes.
For you, Grace?
But also, not only at workplace, you will also realize that even when you're dealing with your family issues, you'll always have challenges here and there. And so it's always good, as you said earlier, to get somebody to mentor you so that when things are not going right, then you have somebody that you can talk to, somebody who is more experienced than you. Then, of course, your family members, your relatives, your friends out of work, so that then you're able to march on with life. But of importance is not the challenge, is the end goal. Where were you going? For you to have gotten this challenge, where were you headed to? And the most important thing is make sure, doesn't matter what, you still get to where your destination was.
Focusing on...
You must focus with your goal, and you must achieve your goal no matter what.
No matter what.
That is what is important.
I like that.
Yes. And as a woman, people will obviously look at you and you want to do this and this and this, and they will wonder, how will you achieve this? But I would say we are very talented as women. We are gifted, actually. We are able to focus. So we just need to make sure that we don't lose focus in any way. We don't lose direction. And, if it's north, it's north.
If you're going north, we are going north.
You're going north, go north.
Right, yes. I like that. Grace, what about you? I mean, the buck stops with you. You're the overall leader of the team. When mistakes happen, how do you handle that?
In my place, for example, I like using examples because they are real practices.
Right.
In the lotions, we have four types. We have one called Oud, which relates to Al-Habib people. We have Bakur, which relates to them. We have for men, and we have Cocoa Butter. Our flagship product that we thought was going to hit the roof was Oud. Oud is like the oud that we normally burn in our homes. Now, we thought that was a product that was going to give us way forward. But the market talks back to you. They tell you what they want and what they don't want. So the product Oud fell. And like I said, we said production in 2020. So right now we have some products that are in the market, and the product has to be, there's also an expiry time. So when the time comes, we also have to go around and see. Now we have a lot of returns of that product. So we are like, okay, shock on us. We thought this is a product that was going to lead us, but it's not the product. So what do we do? What do we do about this product? So in different regions, it's doing well in Mombasa, it's doing well in Kisumu. So let us concentrate on those areas. We're not going to do a lot of production on that specific brand because the market has talked to us. Then another shortcoming that we realized, the name Al-Habib. Not everybody relates with it. So what do? We need to come up with another brand name so that we're able to talk to everyone. So we went to research and development, and we came up with a brand called Temis. And the Temis now is with the cleaning products, with the disinfectant, with the multi-purpose, with the hand wash. And it's doing well, because now it's talking to everyone. Now, Al-Habib is a company name. Habib is the brand, which we have now for the lotions. And then we have also the dishwash in Habib. But now we've realized, yes, we also need to have another brand for the dishwash to be able to relate to everyone. So you learn a lot in the market, because like I said, the market talks back to you and tells you what they require. So it's very important. Once you discover such a thing, don't beat yourself and say that I failed. Is like my colleague says, stand up, dust yourself, get a solution. It's like, okay, this is what happened, what are we gonna do? And like I said before, it is a good thing. It is a good thing to fall, because you're able to upgrade yourself and be able to bring yourself back to business. And like I mentioned again, personally, I said I'm a widow. There was a lot of support from my husband, and now I am there. People are looking at me and they're like, will she manage? That is one thing. Will she be able to run this product? Will she be able to move with this product? But I'm happy, and I'm proud to say he left me with 10 brands, or with 10, we call them SKUs. And now I have 26. That means I have grown. And he left me about 2 years ago. And I woke up, I stood up, I said, okay, that is God's desire. So as Grace, what do you need to do? You've been left this baby, because it was a baby, and how do I grow this baby? And as a lady that we were talking about, business is also like a child. You need to nurture it, you need to grow it. You don't expect to have your baby walk and run and do all these major things at a very early stage. So I'm in the process of growing it. I'm in the process of seeing what more I can improve in the company. And any challenge or any shortcomings that are there, I rise up, dust myself, get a solution, and move on.
Wow, I think that's a very good job you've done. Growing from 10 to 26 products in 2 years. Great job on you.
Thank you.
We want to take a quick break, ladies. We are talking about matters International Women's Day, women empowerment, how to circumvent the challenges that women face in the corporate sector, in the business world, and to get on top there. Well, this is BizCheck. We want to take a quick break. When we come back, this conversation continues. Stay with us.
I have met many priests, you follow? But I've never met a priest who's like you.
Advantage of that generosity, so that he could take Las Bandidas for himself.
And his family. Did he have any children?
How do you know this?
Oh no, it can't be. It can't be. Karina, come here quick. What is it?
The thing is that the mom died that night, and I'm afraid that the same happened to the boy.
No, he didn't die.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Julia.
Yes, sir.
You are a smart and a beautiful woman. Anyone would keep you out.
Thank you, sir.
There's a reason why Nick doesn't like you.
And what's the reason?
Go fish.
Everything okay, sir?
You crawling into the guest room. What did we just have today? I thought that was something.
So that's how you see me.
If you have anything to say, you just say it.
Okay. Can
Can you please sit and work?
She's right, you know.
What?
Have you reported to the police?
48 hours, Pados Jaisha.
You are as conniving as they come.
Hiyo utasikia vizuri.
Na tofauti ya daktari wa wanyama, wa mifugo na daktari wa binadamu. Kwa hivyo ulihatarisha maisha ya mwenzake na kumpea dawa. Nasema kuwa tunakosea sana au
wewe. Askari. Mama, unajua ulikuwa unafanya sagara naenda kudedi. Sagara wangu. Don't shout on me. Don't shout on me. Shut up when I'm talking.
Wewe mzee. Wacha kutumia hiyo lugha.
Ndio basi mwambie waache kuniambia.
Kama una swali sema una.
Niko na swali.
Usitupotezee wakati.
Na yeye pia usinipotezee. Ala, ampisi.
Miezi 3 ndio inafanya unataka kunioa.
Excuse me, na yeye ndio nimeona kulisa. Miezi 3 peke yake ndio inakupatia pressure. Wote.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alipomaliza uumbaji wake na akaumba nafsi zote, aliweza kuamrisha kuwa yeye peke yake ndio Mola ambaye anapaswa kuabudiwa. Nao wakasema kuwa wamesikia na watamtii.
Ama utajo bora mbele Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ni la ilaha illa Allah, ni kule mwanadamu anapotamka la ilaha illa Allah.
Allahumma salli alayhi lamma تيجي سيرة النبي نبدأها بالصلاة عليه.
Thank you for staying on Channel 1. This is BizCheck and my name is Betty Kiptum. Remember, you can interact with us online. On Twitter, we are at KBC Channel 1. My personal Twitter handle is at Betty Kiptum. Tell us your views, your stories, your experiences as a woman. Ask your questions in terms of the challenges you're facing in your journey, and my panelists will be able to answer some of them. My panelists are Beatrice Muthoga. She's a manager in charge of Aviation Security at the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, seated to my left, and Grace Ngugi, the Chief Executive Officer and founder at Al Habib Cosmetics East Africa Limited. And we have been talking a lot about their journeys as women in the corporate sector, in the business sector, how they got there. And we have talked about quite a lot. Ladies, I would like to get from you how important integrity is in the journey towards leadership in various fields, especially for women, and how it gets you there. Let's start with you, Grace.
Integrity is a very, very important aspect in business, especially when you're giving service. And people want to be sure the service that you are giving is exactly what you're saying and is exactly what you have. I don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell me this is wrong, this is right. It is up to me with my team. Integrity is the first thing. It's a no-no. There are no shortcuts. There are no... You can waste a lot of time trying to cover up for the bad things that you do. So make sure you do things right. Make sure you have all your ideas and all your details with you. Make sure you're also supplied by people who also have integrity, people who are also certified, people who are also recognized, because it will trickle down to you and your product. And once the product is in the industry, or rather is in the market, the client or the customer will not think that the raw material is on that was bad. No. The client or the customer will feel that this product is from this company and this was a shortcoming and I don't want to use it anymore. So integrity is very, very important. And I teach it down all to everyone, and even at the workplace, work ethics. Yeah, I tell everyone they are all CEOs in their department, from the janitor to the QA to the production to the mixers. I don't know how to mix. He is the expert. So once I go to his department, he's the CEO. I will listen to him, and he'll tell me, this is what I want, this is what I require to do a good job. I will go to my procurement. I'm not going to keep on following them. She will tell me, this is what I need, these are the companies I've looked at, this is the company I think we need to go with, and she will run with it. When I go now to the marketer, I will ask, what do we need for marketing? What is out there? What is trending? What is going to have an impact for us out there in what we do? So he will run with it. He'll come and tell me this and this and this. So I'm going to respect that. So everybody knows that whatever they need to do has to have integrity, and they have to be on top of their game, because it's a no-no. There's no cold or warm. You're either hot or you're either cold. Yes? So it's very important that integrity is the first check that you go into business with, so that even when you're advising people, you're also walking the talk. You're also doing what you're saying you're going to give, and you're also providing what you've said you're going to provide. And people are going to trust you. People are going to have confidence in what you do. People are also going to be responsible, especially at work. They're going to be responsible in what they do. And once you create that team, even out there, it's going to resonate with the clients. And they're going to say, yes, this is a good product. I want to be a partner with them. Like, for example, we export to Rwanda. I have never been to Rwanda, but the product is doing well. And I get feedback. I call. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we always share all this out there. Yes, we are on the shops in what are they called? Like in Kilimall, like in Jumia, we are there. There has to be integrity, because if somebody wants your product, they want it today. You have to make sure that that product is there. Even if I have to leave Athi River just with one bottle because a client ordered it from Kilimall or from Jumia or from Jumbo Shop, that client has to get that product. That is what you call integrity. So it's up to me to know how that product and how I'm going to set my strategies so that that client can always receive what they want. Because tomorrow I don't want to be told, I used this product and I wanted it and I couldn't get it. So it's very important. Like I said, integrity is key.
Integrity is key. Is that your experience as well, Beatrice?
When I talk of integrity, I use a very short statement. And I say, integrity is what you do when no one is seeing. That's it. If what you do when no one is what you do when no one is seeing, and you're doing it right, then you have integrity in you. It's about you. And you have to practice a very high level of integrity if you want to command respect. Like, you cannot tell people not to come, your staff not to come to work late, yet you're the one coming to work late, right? So you have to lead by example. You have to be a role model, and not just to women, but to everybody. And when people, when you say something, people must have trust in what you're telling them. In corporate world, you have there's so much that goes on. You have to procure things, you have to, there's a lot that happens, and when you lose integrity, then you've lost it all. I think for you to prosper, or for you to be entrusted, for you to be respected, for you to be, even promoted, people must look at you and believe in you. It has to be a complete package of you. And I repeat, integrity is what you do when no one is seeing, and you must be able to do it right.
You must be able to do it right.
Yes.
When Grace was speaking, she mentioned about the mixer being the CEO of his work.
Yes.
Yeah, and that when she goes there, she has to listen to him, and, and because he knows, or she knows what is required for the product to thrive. So I would like to understand from you ladies, you're sitting in leadership positions. Of course, there are people who you report to, as you said.
Yes.
But there are people who you lead.
Yes.
How much does listening to your juniors affect your work and even improve you as a leader?
I lead a whole department of aviation security. Experts. I call them experts. And they're experts in their own field. I'll have somebody in charge of quality control. I have somebody in charge of training. I have somebody in charge of document review. I will not be able to do all that. If I send my teams on the field to go and do inspections in the airport, they will have have to be a team leader. And I have to listen to them before I make any decision, or we have to sit down. Of course, I'll make the ultimate decision, but it will be, we do consultation, we do consultative meetings, because I'm not an expert in everything. Like I told you, I joined Kenya Civil Aviation last year. They've been there longer. They understand the organization even better than I do, and the way they've been doing things. So I've learned so much from them, and some of them are so good. Like I have those doing like a document review who are so good. It's not everybody who can do document review. Like I do not have the patience of doing that. Okay. So you have to rely on them, and you just do you support them, you lead them, you support them, and you provide a good working condition for them to thrive in their own field. So listening to them, it's not a choice that you have when you're a leader. You have to listen to them, you have to support them, and you have to make sure that the environment is enabling for them to be able to do their work. Not only to them, you also have to listen to your seniors, because again, this is what is expected for you from them. So listening is both ways. You have to listen to your seniors, you have to listen to people that you work with, you have to listen to the industry. Like from where I work, it's a regulatory organization. So we regulate the entire industry. So you can imagine the entire aviation security industry, the entire industry. And you're talking of JKIA, Mombasa, Malindi, whatever. It's the whole country. So you have to listen to everybody. And in security, if you don't listen, then that's a recipe for fail. Because how then are even people going to tell you that there's a problem here, there's a problem here that needs to be fixed? So listening is not an option that you have. You have to listen to everybody. And it's not just those people that report to you. Yeah. You have to listen even to this lady who cleans your office, because they came to the office earlier than you did to clean your office. And what you don't know what they found there. So it's good to just go, say hi to them, have a small conversation with them, listen to them, and get to hear what they have to say. So listening it's a virtual. Not everybody who can listen. We are not all good at it, but it's something that you have to keep trying to improve, because you do not have a choice to listen to the people, and somebody will always know something that you don't know. Right. You keep learning every day, and learning is a continuous process.
Learning is a continuous process.
Yes.
Grace, I see you nodding. Yes. In agreement.
Yes, I was just going to say the same thing, that learning is a process. Knowing every day is a learning day. You can learn even from your child in the house. You can learn from anyone, from the gardener, from you, from anyone. So being a leader is not a destination. It's a continuous job. And I have an open door policy in my place. I have made everybody my friend, because I want to listen. And like I said, everybody has their own way of conveying themselves. Some of them are very, very subtle. Some of them are outgoing. Some of them I just need to read their body language and ask them, what is happening? Are you okay? They may not say yes or no, but you can tell from their facial expression, from their body language, that they need to talk. And my place is a safe space. And I tell them, whatever we discuss, even if it's any personal issues, it's a safe ground, it shall remain with me. And if there's any solution I can be able to provide, I do provide. They come with their personal issues. And as we talked about integrity, if they want an advance, if they want something, I'll give them my personal money. And they tell me at the end of the month, after I'm paid, I'll bring it to you. And I ask them, how do you want to pay it? If you want to pay it all, you pay. If you want to pay it in sessions, you pay. And I don't follow them. And it's up to them. So they'll say, forgive me this month. I'm like, okay, when you're ready, I am here. So I always listen to what they say. And I tell them, they are my ambassadors out there. This company is not mine alone. Take ownership. Take ownership. When you're out there, talk about my company. Don't talk about penye ninafanya kazi. Talk about your company. And can everybody know what everybody else does in every space? So that if the marketer is not there, the quality assurance can be able to step in. We have fortnight meetings with everyone, and everybody contributes. And everybody brings suggestions. And they tell me, I think if we did this, this would be better. if we looked at it this way, it would be better. I have a friend, I have a colleague, I have a brother who can assist us in this little shortcoming. Others have engineers in the homes. Others have quality. They'll be able to assist. So it's always good to listen. And if somebody wants me to talk to somebody on their behalf, I'll do so. Of course, it has to be something good. And if they want somebody to listen to, I always tell them, me, I'm here. My phone is always, my number is always open. Call me. If you have anything personal, a child can be sick. Somebody has gone to hospital. They don't know what to do. They have no transport. Call me. Another day, a lady just fell outside the premises as they were going home. And one of the ladies from work was waiting for her colleague and asked, what is wrong with that lady? She's fallen. So we all attended to her. She had her personal medical conditions. She had her papers in the bag. And we were very sympathetic. She came back, put her in the car, and took her home. So my two ladies and I, we drove this lady who fell. And she kept on saying she was going to look for unga for her family. So we contributed. And I did not suggest, it's my team. They all contributed. And we took this lady home and we made sure she got unga for that day. And she was very thankful. And she was like, this has never happened to me. And that is what you call teamwork. And that is what you call being together at work and out of work. And even if it's not just any of us with any situation, if we see somebody out of our space, you don't ignore and say that is not my issue, or you just walk away and decide, no, I don't want to partake to that situation. But we all team up, we all get a solution, and we move on. And that is what you call being an ambassador. That lady, wherever she is, or wherever she went, of course she talks well, or I was assisted, I was helped. My people are ambassadors of what we are. And even out there, the ones who do promotion, the ones who do activations, yes, they are the front of us. They have to be smart. They have to dress well, have uniforms. It has to be washed. It has to be ironed, because you're my ambassador. You're the one who's talking about my product, yes? And we train them on what to say, because within 60 seconds, you should be able to know how to sell that product, because it is proven. After 60 seconds, even if you try to sell to me, my mind has already switched off. So what do you need to do within those 60 seconds to be able to tell that client, to be able to tell that, of course with a smile, so that you can be able to be attractive. Because most of the shoppers, even if you go, you already have your budget. In this time and age, you are going picking what you want. And you don't want to be distracted by this lady here about what they are doing. So there's also that technique of trying to even listen to what. And you get a lot of feedback from the market, from the clients, that this is what they want from us. So we really appreciate a lot of listening, and everybody also listens. I too will call somebody and we'll talk things that are not even relevant to work. And at times they even want to have a party. Now, being as Easter is coming around the corner, what do we do? I told them, we shall have a team building session. Of course, now with the team building, we'll be able to do. And then from there, we can eat some kuku. And they're happy.
Right.
And that way, they're motivated. I give them lunch, because where we are, there's no place you can go for lunch. Yes. Because I listened to them, and I saw what they were going through. And I decided, well, I'm going to be giving them lunch. And they look forward to that lunch, and they feel motivated. So those are the things that we have to listen as leaders, and especially as ladies. Yeah, bring your home into work. Bring it a heaven. Make it a heaven for everybody to be able to enjoy and to be able to work well. And offer them all the tools that they require, the safety, offer them, the gloves, the uniform as is. Because again, you also want to be compliant. And I tell them, I'm not doing this because I want you to look fancy. No. If those inspectors walked that door, yes, I don't want to be the one to be blamed. If any of them walks in and you are not rightly in your uniforms, penalty kwako. So they know their consequences to not doing work right. And that way they're able to grow. And also, they also listen. I'm not the only one who listens. Even them, they listen to what I want them to do. So that we're also in one party, in one team, to be able to steer the product and to be able to steer the market and the business. So it's very important to listen.
Right. Beatrice, you seem to have thoughts.
Yeah, I'm actually, it's interesting to listen to her. listening to her from the private, sector, and me coming from the corporate world, it's a bit different. That's why I'm really listening, and it's really interesting because like the way she's saying she would give our own money, somebody can reimburse the money later. It's something that in the corporate world. It doesn't really happen because if you need a salary advance, then you have to follow the right channels of getting that. So that's why I'm really it's interesting to to listen to how the private businesses are run. I've never run a private business. My husband is into business, but I support from an arm's length.
All right.
Yes.
Ladies, I would like to get your thoughts on something that most women brought up in a society or a home where the voice, you keep it down, a woman is supposed to behave like this, and some women get into the corporate world and they still have that mentality. So sometimes it's very difficult for women to find their voice and find or build their confidence and even take up these leadership roles. There's a book that has been written that nice girls don't get the corner office. I don't know if either of you has read it. Yes. But it's very important for women to find their voice. So I would like to know from you, how did you find your voice as a leader?
I think for me it started from home.
Okay.
I got I come from let me start. It started from my mother, when I was born. My mom is late, may her soul rest in peace. But my mom brought me up a very confident girl, and my dad had passed on when I was 2 years old, so I was brought up by my mother only. But there's no day that we sat down to feel pity on ourselves. My mother made me believe in myself, and she made me believe that I can be what I want to be, if only I work hard. She kept repeating that time and again. And I grew up a very confident girl in the rural village of Laikipia County, Romuruti Division. That's where I grew up. It's interior, but then I was brought up very confidently. And she made me believe that I have everything that it takes to make me what I want to be. And so when I got into when I grew up and started, relationships, again, I would say I was lucky. I got a husband who also, respected my personality as a confident woman. And she has always, supported me in that. Well, I always raise my voice. If I think something is right, it's right. If I think something is wrong, it's wrong. Okay, sometimes I'll get into a conflict about that, even with him. But it's what I think, So I've never, suppressed my voice. At workplace, the same thing. If I think this thing is right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And usually, before I say something is wrong, I'll have, weighed all the options. So it's what you said. Some women get into the corporate world and they think their voices are still, down there. It requires those who are in leadership to make them believe in themselves. And it doesn't just happen. Number one, you cannot believe in yourself if you don't, if you're not good in what you do. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you do is to make sure that you provide training. Mm-hmm. And then you do mentorship. Once somebody is well trained and they're good in what they do, then that raises their confidence in even, talking about it. But when you're not very sure about what you do, then you tend to shy off. So first of all, capacity building. You must do a lot of capacity building. You must expose people, you must expose your staff. If it's your girls in the house, you must make them believe that they are beautiful, they are intelligent. Listen to them, mentor them. All other women in the field, you must make them believe that they know what they know. Also encourage them if they do something wrong, or if they're not really up to the required standard. Try to find out what the problem could be. Mm-hmm. And in most cases, you realize in the corporate field, if you find somebody who is really down, it's not about the workplace. It probably comes out of work. The issues that they are having having or what they're suffering from comes from maybe back in the families or out of work. So what you do is, as a leader, is to try listen. Sometimes it's difficult, but you try the best you can, or you offer, like in workplace, you'll obviously have, units that offer counseling sessions and all that. And those are some of the things that you can do to try to find out what the problem is. But basically, if in the corporate field you need somebody to be confident, they must be subject matter experts in what they do. That's what I believe in. But as women, we must also be, we must learn to walk with our heads high. Otherwise, if we don't, who will? There's nobody who will be there for us. So we must,
walk with our heads high.
Yeah, we must walk with our heads high.
I like that, and know your stuff.
You must be a subject matter expert in your own field. Like I cannot be a subject matter expert in the product that she manufactures, but I must be a subject matter expert in what I do. And so when we sit here, you're a subject matter expert in conducting interviews and all this. I am an expert in my own field, and she's an expert in her own field. And that's why we can sit down, we can sit here and have a conversation. Right. So that is what is important. But capacity building for me is key, and I'm happy because I lead a team that is internationally trained. We offer from my department, we offer trainings not only here in Kenya but in the entire region, and we are actually a benchmark for the region and also for the world. We're doing very well, so I'm very happy about the team that I lead.
That is good news, and I like the positivity about your team.
Yes.
Right. Grace, your thoughts on that?
Yes, being a leader is one. As a lady, being a mother is two. Being a wife is three. Being somebody who is looked up upon is also very important. I second Beatrice by saying, as a lady, you've also got to have your head high, that confidence. But check yourself, know who you are. Like I said before, you attract what you are. You attract what is there. So as a lady, when you're at home, be mommy, be Mrs., do what you have to do. If you go to work, be the leader. And like I said, you cannot be a leader on your own. Being a leader means, as a lady, is you listen, and we're still going back to the same thing, yes, and train your people, and mentor your people, mentor the ladies, mentor the girls, mentor the men, mentor everyone. Be an example. Lead by example. Let them say, I would like to be like Grace. I like what Grace does. I wonder what she does. Let them come and ask you, and you give them the story, and you be live, and you tell them, don't lie, tell them as is, as she says, beat the nail on the head, let it be. Yes? If it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's time to play, it's time to play. If it's time to work, because you also have to be all-rounded as a person. So it's very, very important that as a lady, you set your boundaries. Get to know where your boundaries reach. Yes? And get to know also where people come into your space. Set those boundaries so that you can also be misused. Yes? You can be misused because from time immemorial, we Africans, right. We know how it's done, how it works. So how do you bring yourself differently? And I second her. My husband was also very, very supportive, very supportive. He used to listen a lot. He used to leave me to do what I feel is good, of course with a lot of consultation. With the girls, I have two girls, Paula and Sasha, adults who we work together with, and they were very good friends with the dad. And he kept on telling them, but you listen what mom has said, you listen what she has said. And when we go to work, all of us, they are not even called mom. I'm called Madam Grace. And some workers got to know much later that these are my daughters. Okay. I'm instilling integrity in them. This is the way you work. But when we go home, bring me that tea, bring me that, I become mom. Right. Yes? Right. So you never stop being a child when you're at home. You never stop being a mother. Yes? So across the board, whether you have boys or girls, they are all the children. And you instill integrity in them and make them look also that they have respect for what they do and for their workplace. Right. So as a lady, you've got to set your boundaries. You've got to set your boundaries and keep on learning and being current. and know what you're doing. I'm always told, Mommy, always have an answer. You always have an answer. Or if something is happening, they're like, go and ask Madam Grace. She'll get you the solution. At times I'm brought for a situation, I don't know what to do. But you compose yourself, you think out of the box, get to know where to get the solutions, and have a database of people who you can reach out to. I'm also mentored. I don't know everything. This is a new field. I've never been in manufacturing, but with the skills and the exposure that I have learned before, and educating yourself online, know how to be a marketer, know how to do this, learn how to be a leader. It's also something that you keep on learning, you go on learning also, especially as a lady. You've got to do it more because the expectations are not what people are expecting. So you also have to meet the other people's expectations. Yes.
I'm informed that we need to head over to KICC. I will give you just one sentence, really. Give me your closing remarks, Beatrice.
My closing remarks is to advise those young girls who would want to get into the corporate world, and especially those who would want to venture into security, that the sky is a lower limit.
The sky is the lower limit.
Yes, the sky is a lower limit. You can always be what you want to be, as long as you're focused and as long as you're dedicated and you have commitment to what you do. So, and I would encourage women also in the corporate field not to shy off from getting themselves into the leadership role. It's our time for women.
It's a time for women.
Yes.
2 seconds, please.
All right. Don't be your own bottleneck. Don't think you're doing it all and you're killing yourself. Burst that ceiling, burst that bubble. 2 people I would like to really talk to. Young girls, as Betty said, be confident, be relevant with what you're doing. And to wives or to mothers or to ladies, I am a widow. Find out what is happening if it's in business, what is happening in the business. Yes, my friend is in corporate, husband is in business. Get to understand what he does, get to know, because you never know about tomorrow. And also mentor your children and let them also understand what the business is going on.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies, for sharing your thoughts with us. I've been speaking with Beatrice Muthoga, Manager, Aviation Security, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and Grace Ngugi, the CEO and founder of Al Habib Cosmetics East Africa. My name is Beatric Kiptum. We want to leave you with the proceedings of the celebrations of the International Women's Day happening at the KICC. Bye-bye.
Tumkaribishe Rais wa Jamhuri yetu safi ya Kenya, Daktari William Samoei Ruto, wakiwa na naibu wa rais Rigiji, pia wakiambatana na Pastor Docas.
KBC ni kweli, moja kwa moja tunakujia kutoka jumba la kimataifa la KICC, ambapo hii leo sherehe zinazoendelea hapa ni maadhimisho ya siku ya wanawake, siku ya kimataifa